Well, you pose yourself this awful question: when will Jews be forgiven the Holocaust?
Yes, I wrote a paper about that recently, based upon an article by the English philosopher John Gray, in which he talks about how it's a very simple sentence of his that caught my mind, and he makes the simple and I think right observation that we cannot bear a burden of obligation, whether it's repaying a debt or acknowledging a guilt that we have for some. So what we do is we blame the person to whom we are in debt. We blame them. And I think a great deal of that has happened in relation to the Holocaust. The Holocaust has been turned into something that the Jews did to themselves. You often see now in dramas, you certainly do in Britain, there are lots of dramas which acknowledge the Holocaust. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. And you would have thought that the Jews would have learnt from what was done to them in the Holocaust how to be the most humane people ever to be on earth. But look what's happening in Israel, and they are not the most humane people. I actually would have thought that what the Holocaust taught was that those who kill people, they're the ones who should learn the lesson first. But anyway, leave that aside. The idea that the Holocaust was a kind of a university for the Jews, in which they were to escape from the Holocaust, that's if they were lucky enough to escape, with a degree in fine humanity and compassion, is grotesque. And what's now being done sometimes, whatever, and I'm not someone that doesn't think there are lots of things to be said for and against Israel. It's a very, very complicated situation. But those who simplify the situation, and those who simply see what's happening in Israel as a new monster race created who just happen to be Jews, of what they're virtually doing is that they're saying it's a kind of way of exculpating the Holocaust in the past. The Jews deserve the Holocaust retrospectively, and the proof of that is what they are doing now in Israel.
Just one fantastic quote, the example of this Spanish major who had cancelled his town's Holocaust Memorial Day because of Gaza. And you say, well, the dead of Buchenwald will be memorialized if the living of Tel Aviv will behave.
Good sentence, isn't it?
Very good.